Now, getting to what was keeping me up all weekend, man. They got a $775 million investment with a market cap of $2 billion. For me, this is a monumental, gigantic catalyst that could result in a multi-day squeeze, potentially to all-time new highs. All right. You know what? I'm going to be biased here. I'm going to stick with my interpretation of how important this catalyst is to the future fundamentals of this company. That this situation is so good that the reason the volume's low is because the amount of purchases that have to come in, the amount of shorts they have to cover, they don't want to do them pre-market. They want the liquidity of 9:30 a.m. That's my thesis, guys. All right. So I'm looking for an explosion in the stock. Here we go, 1024. Look at this resistance right here at 1125. If you break 1125, you kind of get into this next territory up here at 1350. Those are two levels to look at. And then maybe over the span of 2 or 3 days, we can get a squeeze up to $17 or $18. This has been easy money for a while right now. And we have FOMC today. I'm a little bit worried about that. Risk assets have been coming down. Probably banks, regional banks have probably been getting hurt. Let's see that KRE. And this is because of a possible worry that Powell today at the FOMC 2 p.m., they may signal a slowing of the interest rate cuts or a pause of the interest rate cuts. I think it's we're still going to get 25%. And I'm worried that, this could be an excuse to have at least a short-term sell-off or just a removal of the frothiness. So I'm being a little more risk averse today. I'm not going to trade as much today. Going to have some cash today. I have some UVXY hedge as well. So those are my thoughts.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know what happened with the DRE.
Now, getting to what was keeping me up all weekend, man. They got a $775 million investment with a market cap of $2 billion. For me, this is a monumental, gigantic catalyst that could result in a multi-day squeeze, potentially to all-time new highs. All right. You know what? I'm going to be biased here. I'm going to stick with my interpretation of how important this catalyst is to the future fundamentals of this company. That this situation is so good that the reason the volume's low is because the amount of purchases that have to come in, the amount of shorts they have to cover, they don't want to do them pre-market. They want the liquidity of 9:30 a.m. That's my thesis, guys. All right. So I'm looking for an explosion in the stock. Here we go, 1024. Look at this resistance right here at 1125. If you break 1125, you kind of get into this next territory up here at 1350. Those are two levels to look at. And then maybe over the span of 2 or 3 days, we can get a squeeze up to $17 or $18. Up in the top 5. All right, Bitcoin and I would not be surprised one of these days, could be today, to see UMAC up like 80%, like something like PDYN did 130%. Wouldn't be surprised. So took a bet on UMAC this morning. I got to tell you, there's a possibility UMAC does something crazy like this over the next couple days. All right. I think there's a high chance, very high chance we'll see 960 again today. Good chance we'll see over 10, and definitely a possibility this thing does $10, $15, $20 over the next few days. So UMAC, all right, got to make that, even now at these prices, up 45%, got to make it the number one pick of the day. I can tell you, as I'm thinking about it, as I'm talking about this out loud with you guys, I think I got to buy some long-term shares here. I think I do. I only have exposure now in my trade account. I'm going to do it right now on the air. All right. UMAC, even though, okay, I'm going to buy it high, get it, but that's okay. All right. We're going to buy some more shares here, but this time it's going into my long-term account. I was in Mara this morning. I sold Mara to buy more UMAC, and that's looking to be the right decision. I don't think you're going to find anything better than UMAC today, even at this price right here, Brett. Is that crazy?
Yeah, I know. Look at it. They could have bought into, and they'd already be making money this morning. So.
Oh my God. I'm still underweight. I mean, because it's such a no-brainer. It's such a no-brainer. 45 million. I'm like, $45 million market cap. Well, before the 65% move. And Donald Trump Jr., I'm like, I should be all in. Honestly, let me see if I should buy more somewhere. Now, getting to what was keeping me up all weekend, man. They got a $775 million investment with a market cap of $2 billion. For me, this is a monumental, gigantic catalyst that could result in a multi-day squeeze, potentially to all-time new highs. All right. You know what? I'm going to be biased here. I'm going to stick with my interpretation of how important this catalyst is to the future fundamentals of this company. That this situation is so good that the reason the volume's low is because the amount of purchases that have to come in, the amount of shorts that have to cover, they don't want to do them pre-market. They want the liquidity of 9:30 a.m. That's my thesis, guys. All right. So I'm looking for an explosion in the stock. Here we go, 1024. Look at this resistance right here at 1125. If you break 1125, you kind of get into this next territory up here at 1350. Those are two levels to look at. And then maybe over the span of 2 or 3 days, we can get a squeeze up to $17 or $18. Guys, listen, I'm getting validation on social media. From the likes of Dan Ives, Jim Cramer, who is not a good indicator, but when you have Dan Ives and Jim Cramer agreeing, basically saying everything I was saying in the morning show, we're talking about $926 billion company. Dan Ives is like, this is a $1.5 billion company. Automation is going to be fast-tracked in terms of federal regulations and stuff. Take a look at this. I'm looking at, let's pull back to the weekly chart. If you go to the daily, you're like, oh, it's so scary. You got a gap here. Oh my God. Right. Okay. Well, you can look, first of all, even on the daily, we're so close to that 299. It's going to test it soon. And then right after that, this is the magnet right there at 314.67. So your target's 300 to 314, 300 to 315, let's call it. But if you don't want to be scared of the gap, pull up a weekly chart, okay? When you put up a weekly chart, just look at this and think about how important this catalyst is. This is an inflection catalyst. This means this is a catalyst when 5 years from now, you look back at the stock and you look at the chart, you can identify a point in time, right? How important is it that Trump is elected and Elon Musk is at his side and basically put him in office, right? How important is that to the company? Obviously, it's hugely important. How big should that candle be? How big should that inflection be when you look back in this chart in time from the future, right? And when you look at the weekly chart, hey, we haven't even gotten started. This 15% move is nothing. It's a blip. You haven't even missed it yet. So when can we see this like really peak out? Or I don't want to say peak out, but when is this thing going to capitulate to the upside, at least temporarily? Guess when that's going to be? I think it's pretty clear. January 20th. There's going to be a lot of hype building into that. Most of the run's probably going to happen well before that. November, December. Maybe you see this thing have that capitulation high, towards Inauguration Day, right after Inauguration. Everything's going to be baked in by then. So, again, look at these weekly candles. How big should these weekly candles be to represent this monumental thing that's really going to impact fundamentals for Tesla? I mean, look, this 299 to 315, that's like very short term. That could be tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow or Friday or Monday, might very well be tomorrow, 300 to 315. If you want to talk about a game-changing inflection for the company, you got to think this thing has got to be maybe somewhere between 380 and the all-time high by Inauguration Day. all right, or at least 360 to 415 by inauguration day. That's my target. This is the opportunity. That's the analysis. Now, getting to what was keeping me up all weekend, man. They got a $775 million investment with a market cap of $2 billion. For me, this is a monumental, gigantic catalyst that could result in a multi-day squeeze, potentially to all-time new highs. All right. You know what? I'm going to be biased here. I'm going to stick with my interpretation of how important this catalyst is for the future fundamentals of this company. That this situation is so good that the reason the volume's low is because the amount of purchases that have to come in, the amount of shorts that have to cover, they don't want to do them pre-market. They want the liquidity of 9:30 a.m. That's my thesis, guys. All right. So I'm looking for an explosion in the stock today. Here we go, 1024. Look at this resistance right here at 1125. If you break 1125, you kind of get into this next territory up here at 1350. Those are two levels to look at. And then maybe over the span of 2 or 3 days, we can get a squeeze up to $17 or $18. I think I heard you tease something of some other developments, some other news that's going to blow our minds. Would you advise us not to speculate that it, could be something of Palantir? That would be too crazy for you, right?
They're a great company.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know what happened with the D.R.E. It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know what happened.
Now, getting to what was keeping me up all weekend, man. They got a $775 million investment with a market cap of $2 billion. For me, this is a monumental, gigantic catalyst that could result in a multi-day squeeze, potentially to all-time new highs. All right. You know what? I'm going to be biased here. I'm going to stick with my interpretation of how important this catalyst is for the future fundamentals of this company. That this situation is so good that the reason the volume's low is because the amount of purchases that have to come in, the amount of shorts that have to cover, they don't want to do them pre-market. They want the liquidity of 9:30 a.m. That's my thesis, guys. All right. So I'm looking for an explosion in the stock today. Here we go, 1024. Look at this resistance right here at 1125. If you break 1125, you kind of get into this next territory up here at 1350. Those are two levels to look at. And then maybe over the span of 2 or 3 days, we can get a squeeze up to $17 or $18. This has been easy money for a while right now. And we have FOMC today. I'm a little bit worried about that. Risk assets have been coming down. Probably banks, regional banks have probably been getting hurt. Let's see. See that? KRE. And this is because of a possible worry that Powell today at the FOMC 2 p.m., they may signal a slowing of the interest rate cuts or a pause of the interest rate cuts. I think it's we're still going to get 25 basis points. And I'm worried that, this could be an excuse to have at least a short-term sell-off or just a removal of the frothiness. So I'm being a little more risk averse today. I'm not going to trade as much today. Going to have some cash today. I have some UVXY hedge as well. So those are my thoughts.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know what happened with the D.R.E.
So I think all the elements are coming together for a secondary surge in Trump names. You probably seen my thesis on Tesla from the day after the election, calling for all-time new highs, proximal to inauguration. When I say proximal, 2 to 3 weeks before to 2 to 3 weeks after, in that time frame, calling for an all-time new high. Tesla. Oh, I love Tesla. Tesla 360 plus. Let's go, baby. You saw my thesis, and I have not backed down. I'm like, I don't care what the delivery numbers are. I don't care what Goldman Sachs says. All right, to me, the people focus on the sentiment of Tesla are correct. They're the ones that are going to get this right. They're the ones that are going to be here at 360 and watch this thing get an all-time highs because Tesla will benefit over the next few years from the Trump relationship and the FSD and the robo-taxi. That's investing. Goldman Sachs is wrong. We're right. Tesla done all-time new highs. All right. So Tesla going to be in the top 5 here today. Tesla, let's go ahead and break 362 this week. All right. 385, by the way, the next target on Tesla. 385. Tesla. Unbelievable. Look at this. We've been calling this every step of the way since the election, all over this. We called this breakout early yesterday morning. Actually, the night before, we said Tesla's going to be a top pick tomorrow. We're going to break out. How did we do that, man? We have a knack for this stuff. So Tesla, we said the two levels, 365, then 385. Those are the two levels we gave you. Then we break 365, then we go to 385. Tesla was a top pick yesterday, and wow, we're like, that 385 can happen quickly. It can even happen this week. Well, 378, almost there. And then we're forecasting consistently. We've been forecasting all-time new highs of above 415, proximal to inauguration day. Who knows, at this rate, it may even come before that. When I say proximal to inauguration date, kind of I'm talking about within 2 to 3 weeks, either side of inauguration is when we get the new all-time highs on Tesla. So Tesla going to be a top 5 pick again today with this breakout, 385, your next target. Good morning. It is Tuesday, right?
Yeah, Tuesday it is. Yep.
It is Tuesday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. Tomorrow's Christmas Day. Today, markets close at 1 p.m. Markets are closed tomorrow, and it is a white Christmas out there in New York. That is rare. That is rare. I love snow. And I used to watch the Weather Channel a lot. That was my hobby growing up as a kid. I was always looking for those snowstorms, and it would never come on Christmas Eve. Never, never. So now you get a white Christmas here in New York for those who like that and celebrate that. Also a white Hanukkah. Oh my gosh. Also very rare. Tomorrow night is the first night of Hanukkah along with Christmas. That's also very rare. So happy Hanukkah to all my Jewish friends. Merry Christmas to all my Christian friends. Enjoy the holidays. It's going to be a short day, a light crowd today, but the light crowd here is going to make a lot of money with us. All right. So macro, I'm not looking like we don't worry about the indices right now. Nothing's going to happen with the indices, I don't think, between now and January 2nd. Okay, I've given my predictions out there. We got a Santa rally, especially in the micro caps, is going to be happening here. January effect stocks. We'll talk a little bit about that. That move has already started. All right, I do worry about a sell-off in 2025 winners on January 2nd, so I may be taking a hedge into the new year. All right. Meanwhile, no ERs at all this week. No ERs the rest of the year, I don't think. All right, we're not worried about ERs, so that's quick. Went right past that. Now, January effect stocks. I can't show you the whole list of January effect stocks. If you want to see that, you got to become a subscriber. There's a code right at the bottom if you want to see that. But I will tell you that 2 of our January effect stocks have already exploded. All right, AMD and SMSI. Look at this. This is just beautiful. SMSI, look at that beautiful breakout yesterday. Open green candle. All right. You had the opportunity to get in at the open yesterday. This is one of our 10 January effect stock picks. Up 30% yesterday, up 3% here in pre-market. It was up 10% earlier in pre-market. All right. We gave you some targets there in our Discord up here. Like I think I gave you 140 to 160 where the targets hasn't quite gotten there. It actually hit 140 in pre-market. And then the other January effect stock, well, there's 9 others, but one other. All right, now we can tell you, because if you weren't a Discord member, all right, you missed this benefit of this big green candle yesterday in the pre-market move. The other 8 we can't tell you yet because they haven't gone up yet unless we become a member. All right, but anyway, right here, AMD also had some news this morning, investing in XAI, Grok AI.
Yep.
So that's looking good, up 2%. Target I gave you is around the 20 DMA, 130 to 130, 150, something like that. So this one, you got the opportunity to get in yesterday to open around 121 based on the January FX session, the Zoom that we did on Sunday, and that's doing well. I'm in common shares in my long-term account. I'm in options in my trading account. So 2 January FX stocks doing really well. Looking for continuation in both of these names today, AMD and SMSI. Now we get to some fun stuff. I will tell you, INVZ, yesterday morning, someone alerted this in our community, but I just scalped it early for a small gain. And I didn't really have time to look at the report until after the market closed, actually. Godfather was looking into it more. And I'm like, all right, let me take the time to look at it. I was just too busy with RUM yesterday. So we can see RUM. Was RUM our number 1 pick of the day yesterday, Rhett?
It was between Arca and RUM. We threw both of them up there.
And RUM. Arca had a great morning, but it gave back. But RUM, I was totally focused on RUM after Arca. I took some gains in the morning, and then I was focused on RUM the whole entire day, and it paid off really, really handsomely with this big open green candle. But another one pre-market was INVZ. So once we looked at INVZ, I looked at this. I'm like, oh, this is also January FX stock. We had tax loss selling here. We had a nice catalyst. All right, we have a technical breakout. There's a lot of positive things going on. So I threw INVZ into our January effect chat room, not in our official list because we didn't have time to vet it on our spreadsheet with our community, but it's in that channel. I threw that in there and I added INVZ both to my trade account and my long-term account, re-added it, right? Because I bought it at 120 yesterday morning, sold it at 130, and then I bought it back at like 162 in after hours last night. It's 167 by 168. So these are all being impacted by the January effect. SMSI, INVZ, AMD, okay? Both AMD and INVZ has a catalyst as well. But let's move down now to MOB. Wow. This was my largest trade position coming into this morning. Up 9%, 391 by 398. They had news, guys. Okay. Now, I've been saying for weeks on end, we've been in this since when? Since the open on this day was $2.46. All right. That's when it was a Monday, right? Friday, I had a nice Friday. I didn't know about it. Over the weekend, someone told me, take a look at MOB. I took a look at it. I loved it. Got in at the open in pre-market, as a matter of fact. And I've been in it ever since. It's basically consistently been one of my largest positions in my trade account since I got in at 250. We're sitting here now at $4. We'll go over the news in a second. But 405 recent high was also a 52-week intraday high. Yesterday, after the close, I pointed out that yesterday's close, actually, let's see if we have time to do this. If you switch your line style to a line chart from now you see it. See how clear and easy that is? All right. If you're in, we're all looking at open candle charts. We all are. But I always look for this. It's hard to see. It looks like, okay, it looks like yesterday was just another chop day, right? It looks like we're up here in this chop. But my eyes are trained to see this. And I'm like, wait a second. That, I think, is a new closing high. And then just to verify it, you switch to your line chart, and there you go, new closing high. That's a technical breakout sign. Okay. Almost always works, and people don't see it. It's like a hidden technical breakout sign. And then people are looking, oh, we got to break 405. No, we got to break what it was. I don't know what it was. Oh, here we go. We had to break the line chart. We had to break this level, 356 or so. You have to break 356 on the close. That's your breakout, guys. All right. So anyway, in addition to this breakout, this is one of the most undervalued, probably the most undervalued small drone stock out there. And then this morning they come out with news. So let's see if we can read this news together because it is very interesting. So let me grab that news release here. MOB. Pulling up on my other screen. Okay. Mobilicom further strengthens balance sheet warrant exercises for approximately 1.2 million in cash proceeds. So yeah, obviously there's some dilution there. It's not huge dilution compared to this 20 million market cap. It's probably something like 400,000 shares or something like that. compared to shares outstanding of 6 million. So you get some dilution, not the end of the world. But what I was looking for, I was like, will he say anything about their business? And I was like, nah, he's not going to do it. Like, we don't hear a lot from this guy. And the title is just about warrant exercise. And I'm reading. In fact, let me switch the screen, guys. Let's look at this together. Let's go share screen. Here we go. All right, let's look at this. All right. Over the past month, we've seen our company's valuation increase over 150%. And this has created economics that encourage some of our institutional investors to exercise warrants. I'm like, okay, well, okay, the stock pumped and now people are selling. That's not what I want to hear. Let's keep going. With this latest cash injection, our balance sheet is further fortified. That's good, which we expect to give us a cash runway of at least 2 years. Very good. Now we get to the good stuff, which may be further extended as adoption of our drone technologies are increasingly gaining traction in a high growth market. Let's keep going. Our most recently reported financial results for the first half demonstrated the revenues more than tripled. I don't care. That's in the past. Gross margins increased. Net loss, I don't care. 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 But here, now we care. We believe the favorable market dynamics at this time for military and civilian journalism products indicate Mobilicom will have a strong 2025. Okay. Favorable market dynamics, strong 2025. Adoption of our this is important. Adoption of our drone technologies are increasingly gaining traction. That is probably the most important because it's like a material fact, right? This word "are," right? He uses may and we believe, but now right here he's using the word "are." Our drone technologies are increasingly gaining traction in a high growth market. And that made me buy more. Not only did it make me buy more, and let me switch back to the chart. I was mostly in this as a trade position. I added heavily this morning to my retirement account. I have a small position in my retirement account because I haven't been able to talk to the CEO yet. We are working on now. It's either going to be the first week of January or the second week of January. We're going to be interviewing the CEO. And I'm like, I don't want to have a big position in this unless I speak to the CEO. But now we kind of heard from the CEO right there. So because I heard from him, I added MOB at $3.90. I paid up in my retirement account, intending to hold those shares for much higher levels throughout 2025. So MOB, this catalyst, I think, is both good for today, swing and long-term periods. All right, that's going to be a top pick today. We'll see if it makes it to the number one position or not. All right. By the way, the 405 is a key level. After 405, it's sky blue. There's no resistance after 405. I mean, you're basically into this IPO area where you opened at 666. So it could be very interesting today. Okay. The other also good time to mention that just like if you remember that 4-day weekend or 3.5-day weekend, Thanksgiving, especially that Friday, I had mentioned before that Friday that this is a good time for small cap stocks, especially like highly shorted ones and short squeezes and low float stocks and things like that, because the hedge funds and the institutions who like to short are on vacation and retail's more in control. So I think you're going to see a lot of that today. All right, we got 3.5 hours of trading, and it could be a wild 3.5 hours. It is a kind of day where I will be jumping on, maybe lower quality names that have a catalyst, or certain accounts are pushing, which one I might be alluding to on X, right? It is that kind of day where retail is in control with low volume and the institutional shorts not as active. So you could see lots of huge gains like you're seeing here on CREV this morning, up 200%. All right. So AMD and man, I didn't have a chance to. Oh, wow. It hit 148 this morning. Oh, but my share's not an account that had 4 a.m. trading. Wow. Okay. That would have been nice. All right. So AMD, INVZ, did I talk about? Yeah, I did talk about them. But the technicals on INVZ, I don't think. So INVZ, maybe the next level's up here around 195. Yeah. I think the next resistance is around 192 to 195. And this is one of those stocks at a 258 million market cap. It could happen today. Like everyone's like, oh, it's the holidays. Nothing's going on. You're not going to see a lot of action. That may be true for the largest cap stocks. The institutions are quiet, but these small caps can rip in 3.5 hours. So INVZ is going to be a top pick. Potential move to 195. All right. Not MOB and INVZ. Okay. Rumble top pick yesterday. Okay. So I was looking for, we made out great yesterday. Didn't get to our target in one day. Of course, I said this could be a 1 to 3 day multi-day squeeze with a target of $17 to $18. I mostly out by the end of the day yesterday, but I did keep an allocation in case we have a second move today after that. Really unfortunate. We could have a secondary move to all-time highs by the end of the week. All right. Tuesday, half day today, off tomorrow. So then Thursday and Friday. So I still think that 17 to 18 is possibly on the table for RUM. So that'll be up there near the top of our list. All right. And then I think we're going to leave it at that. I did start selling some RCAT as folks in our community as well. Some big folks who've been in RCAT in our community started scaling back on RCAT. That was insider sell by the CEO yesterday. That doesn't really change the long-term thesis for me. So I still have a large position in my long-term account. But yesterday, when we switch from an open green candle to a dark green candle here, that oftentimes is a sign of a short-term peak and a turnaround in the stock. So I stopped trading, got totally out of any day trading shares or swing trading shares. I did that yesterday at a pretty good price. But I am keeping a nice position in long-term shares on RCAT, but I did reduce some and actually took some of those profits on RCAT this morning and put it in more MOB. I talked about adding MOB to my retirement account. That's how I did it. All right. I will mention form here. Let's just switch to our quantum list. Look, I've missed this whole quantum thing. I missed all of it, right? I do have a position in HUN, trying to benefit from the whole quantum theme at some point. Apparently they have a big quantum division that's worth a lot of money. Now here's another larger cap. It is one of the largest cap quantum names here. FORM. IonQ, really the biggest one that's been popping, is now $9 billion. So FORM at $3.55 billion apparently has some quantum associations. They sell some sort of product, some sort of cryogenic cooling product, something like that, that's necessary for quantum computing. And apparently all the biggest quantum computer players out there use their service, FORM, but probably not more than 5 to 10% of the revenue. So this is more of a sentiment play, but the volume's been popping off, call flow's been popping off like crazy. So I may be looking at getting a position in FORM just in case this is the next quantum name to pop off. All right, so that's something I'll be looking at over here. Aside from that, we'll be looking at our January effect picks. Today is the last day, according to my process. Today's the last day to pick up January effect stocks that you intend on holding through the end of January. Now, sometimes you hit your targets much faster, like SMSI. Hopefully, we're going to hit my target there, 140 to 160 today, which we did pre-market, but, regular hours. But today's the last day. If you want to grab those other 8 January effect stocks, today's the last day to do that, to have the maximal gain, right? It doesn't mean, kind of catch the bottom. Okay, that's it. Rhett, what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a pretty light day today. Seems like a lot of people taking the day off, so volume I think is going to be a lot lower than normal. With that being said, small caps will probably do very well.
Yeah,
some of them. So really liking MOB, how that's setting up, especially with it closing at 52-week highs and how it's up right now. That could keep the follow through. Could be really good on that one. And then I'm also liking AMD.
Yep. Those are the top 2 for sure. MOB and AMD. I'm not sure which to put number 1. I'm not sure which to put number 1. I think, you know what? I think I'm going to go MOB. I don't think we've ever had MOB number 1 pick, have we?
No, I don't think so.
Like, it's been a swing. But you know what? We finally got a catalyst. We finally got some sort of, quasi guidance out of the CEO. And we're up here at potentially a major breakout today. And this is the kind of stock that, institutions aren't there. But who knows? It's possible that this stock gets into the $5 to $6 range today. It's definitely possible. So I'm going to go MOB as the number one pick of the day, followed by AMD. So those will be the top two. We'll follow that with INVZ and Form and RUM. How about that? And then SMSI is more like I'm trying to exit SMSI at this point. Hopefully we quickly get to one of these targets up here. And that'll be one of quick January effect win. Boom, boom, boom in like two candles. Hopefully that'll be beautiful. So MOB, AMD, INVZ, Form, and RUM top 5 picks. SMSI has worked out, and we're going to try to exit that. I think those are the picks for the day.
Awesome.
I do have to mention Mind, though. Sorry. Let me throw Mind up here. This needs an honorable mention because this was my largest swing pick until I added more mob yesterday. But when I saw that it was closing strong, I added more mob. But Mind, very strong close. Look at this volume coming in right at the close yesterday. And there was a bidder who stayed on the bid last night at 782. He's not showing this morning, or maybe he got filled at 635 last night, possibly. But in any case, this one has been a earnings re-rating play with a target of, at this point, the 200 EMA keeps dropping. So 940. To me, it looks like we are already in sky blue breakout. So that target, we didn't get it yesterday. I said, hey, it's possible we get that yesterday. We didn't get it yesterday. It's possible we get it today with that light volume on the institutional side. But I'm sticking with this one too, 920. So let's leave that up. Mind and SMSI kind of, second tier we'll be looking at. So MOB, AMD, INVZ, Form, RUM, and then Mind and SMSI. Those are your picks for today.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great
I don't think
day.
I'll be doing a live stream today. I'm gonna try to take it in the Discord. All right, we'll talk in the chat room. Gonna try to have a more relaxing day since we got a half day here. So happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you on the other side Thursday after Christmas. Take care, everyone.
Have a good one.